All right. Good evening, everybody. It's 7:30, so let's get started. My name is Craig Peterman, a volunteer at BadgerBots, and program delivery partner with First Lego League in the state of Wisconsin. For those of you that don't know me, we've got Jay Church and Brian Farrell here. Jay is one of our two state head referees, and Brian is one of our two head judge advisors. So, as you came into the meeting, you should have heard that the session is being recorded. So yes, within 24, 48 hours, Jay will get it up on our YouTube channel. So even though the attendance here may not be overwhelming, but we do get anywhere from 50 to 60 views on any given week. So the benefit of being here is obviously you can get any specific questions answered directly from the Brain Trust. So welcome, thank you for being here. Let's just jump right in. As you saw from today's newsletter, we do have the dates for when the window for coaches to register for a regional. We do have those established. So just summarizing, the window will open September 28th, which is a Monday. Coincidental happens to be a date that a newsletter goes out and we have a Zoom call. So we will obviously make those reminders during that time period. So then over the next 15 to 18 days, the window will close on October 15th. But during that time, coaches will be able to go to the link. It's a Google form or maybe a Wix form. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. All I know is that the data gets input relatively easily, and then it will be downloaded into an Excel spreadsheet when we have 250 teams signed up, and we'll go through the assignment process, which will be, of course, after the window closes, which is October 15th. When you register your team, you will then hopefully select 3 events in order of preference that you would like your team to attend. Some people like to put the same event for all 3 choices, and I would argue not to do that because I will then just ignore your second and third choice, and that increases your chances of going to an event that you may not want to go to. So, historically, 90% of the teams get their first choice, but coaches will also have the opportunity to make comments. Special needs, you're coaching 3 teams and you want them all at the same tournament. So perfectly legit. We try and make all those happen. Make sure you use that comment column wisely and include the team numbers that are associated with your special need. And I believe historically we've been pretty good about getting those needs satisfied. So there's always exceptions, but nonetheless, we do our best to make it all work for everybody. This year, there is not going to be a rookie team, new team event like we did last year at Golda Meir. So there won't be any, you need to justify why you need to be put into this particular tournament. That is not going to be the case this year. One, we kind of lost our volunteers who were putting on the Golda Meir, at least the directors. One to retirement, one to a new job, and then because we also lost the Franklin tournament for specific reasons, they may come back in future years. Um, so we're a little bit short on capacity this year if we have the same amount of signups plus possibly a little bit of growth. So nonetheless, I'm not comfortable making an event specific to rookie teams, new teams, or however we wanted to classify it. So with that in mind, sign up for the event or your top preference should obviously be the event that you really want to go to. And as I said earlier, about 90% get their first choice anyway. So it's not a big deal. I do ask that you be careful to make sure that you only sign up once for each team. It does get somewhat confusing when we have multiple entries for the same team, and then it's hard to tell which one is the correct one. And that just requires, of course, back and forth communication, which we will do. but that does eat up time and resources that could be better spent doing something else. So just be a little bit careful with that. And when you do successfully register, you will get an email back. I can't remember if it actually tells you the three order of preference that you submitted, but it certainly will tell you that your registration and preferences were successfully submitted. So it's been a pretty good process for the last 3 years, and hopefully that will continue this year because, quite frankly, we're not really doing anything different. All right. Any questions about that? All right. If not, just move on real quickly. You saw in the last couple newsletters, the schedule is out. I am in the process of updating first systems with our events. That will then make them public. There'll be a little bit more information about them at firstinspires.org. And also, then we will open it up to ask for volunteers. So you can also do that via the firstinspires.org website. We're not quite there yet, in the process of, but hope to get that done by tomorrow. As far as other events, we have two scrimmages that I know of. When I say we, not like officially, but nonetheless, we have Shout that is going to be on October 17th. That one is going to be both FRC, FTC, and FLL related activities for all three programs. And if Allison were here, she might be able to tell you more about it, but she is not. So we'll have to table that one. And then I'll let Brian talk about the Waukesha scrimmage, which is scheduled for October 31st.
Yeah, well, the
Brian?
scrimmage is Waukesha South High School on October 31st. We'll have both judging and the ability to do robot matches. It's more of a, we'll make sure you get on the table. We're not forcing a schedule for matches, but we do have a schedule for judging to get judges in there. You assign the judges to work with. It's a great time to get feedback for your team. We recommend going to a scrimmage, whether it's the Shout one or it's the Waukesha one or some other one. It is great feedback and a great way to get your team prepared. Highly recommend doing it. I know a lot of teams say they're not ready, but do it anyways. We understand you're not ready. That's okay. Come with what you got, and you can get feedback.
As a general rule of thumb or rule to communicate, if anybody listening is having events, whether it be scrimmage, whether it be coach training, or just kind of a get together to share ideas, and if you want to open it up to the Wisconsin FLL community, please email me at fllteams@badgerbots.org and we can get it in the newsletter. If you're paying attention to the recent newsletters, there was a coach training in Brookfield, and then Blue Stem Robotics was doing training. Those events have obviously passed already, so we take them out of the newsletter, but nonetheless, that newsletter goes to all FLL coaches, both Challenge and Explore, unless, of course, they unsubscribe. But otherwise, that is the most complete list that we know of to reach fellow FLL coaches to attend your events. So, the only other important comment I have is we do have that free agent webpage, which you can find a link in the newsletter as well. We're already up to, I think, 7 or 8 kids that are not on teams. The parents don't have the resources, time or otherwise, to coach a team. So we're trying to find homes for, 7. We've had some leads on a couple of them, so I'm optimistic, but I will take every opportunity to remind coaches, if you have space on your team and it makes geographical, logistical sense, please consider, taking on a new member. I think whoever, yep, there you go. Thank you. Is that you, Brian?
Yep.
Yep, you're awesome. So there it is. In fact, I noticed that we have two in Waukesha County. If we start getting more, maybe we can create a team out of those kids. Wouldn't that be pretty amazing? All right. So that's it for me until I think of something else. So, Brian, anything from a judging perspective?
I do not have anything right now. Just standard reminders that from a judging perspective, we use the same rubrics that are posted on the season materials. I'm navigating that now. So under judging, it's the same rubric that we use for the judging. So get the kids used to looking at it, be familiar with it yourself. That's helpful. Also, the judging session flowchart is out there. That's kind of how a judging session will go. And then, as Greg alluded earlier, we asked coaches to volunteer to judge at tournaments. It's a great opportunity to learn what we're looking for. We'll get you trained, but also to see some really great teams. So it's a great opportunity to learn and develop as a coach, but it also helps the program out, which we need a lot of people to do that with.
You have a question.
Yep. Amy had just put a question in there about Nexus. And it was funny. I was just thinking about that, and I was going to ask feedback from the coaches. If you want to go into the chat and respond, that'd be great. Yeah, we have every intention of using Nexus again, at least from our perspective. And, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was a huge success from the efficiency, the running the program, delivering results relatively quickly. Again, the rubrics were emailed to coaches instead of hard copies. That helped the judges tremendously because it's much easier to type than it is to write the feedback. So there were a lot of benefits associated with it. So we got no feedback, good or bad, that I know from coaches. So if anybody has any feedback relative to the paper process that we used in the past, we have every intention of using Nexus because, at least from our perspective, it's worked really well.
Those new Nexus is a online system that we can use for judging and robot scores. And we can use that. We can deliver at the end of the tournament quickly the feedback through the rubrics as well as the robots game sheets, and just kind of a one-pager about what awards were given out. Obviously, that doesn't go out till after the award ceremony, but it does go out pretty quickly after that. And actually, one of the feedbacks I got from people is there's actually better comments coming. To your point of, it's easier to type them in than to write them. So we find that the judges are able to give more and better feedback. If other people disagree, that's the feedback I've heard from people. But if other people have different opinions on that, please let us know.
One of the other great things about Nexus was their responsiveness. Brian or Jay or anybody would have this idea to make it better, and literally within like 2 days they'd have it updated. So it was a work in progress last year, and this year I kind of expect it to be even better.
I know they're off and running already. I've seen some other, because they have a Slack channel as well, so they're already making updates and taking feedback.
Okay, so Jay finally got his field set Saturday. Is the box open at least, Jay?
No.
Oh, okay.
All right. So
All right.
With that,
What do you got, Jay?
So it's been a kind of a slow week for us. There's been no activity on Slack, no activity via text, no activity via email, and I'll let you guys know my plan will be next Monday to walk through the game with you guys. And again, I apologize. It's kind of later into the season than we usually do, but we literally just got field kits the other day, so I'll get that built, and we'll actually be able to walk through the rule book and like we usually do every season. So, but I'm happy to field any questions that I can. Again, without really knowing the operation of the game, but according to the rule book, I'm happy to go over anything with you I can. So feel free to ask. Amy, I don't know if there's going to be a coach's corner or not. I have a message into one of the people there. There you go. Brian and I answering the same thing. So we'll try to get an update for you guys as soon as we can. All right. For those of you that may not know, you can always ask game rule questions or judging questions on Slack. There's a link, still a live link, right, Craig, in the newsletter to Slack?
Link to Slack? That I don't know.
So if anybody needs an invite to Slack, let us know. We'll get you on there. So if you're new and you haven't seen it, it's a pretty robust chat system there. We have an official referee question section. Same thing for judges. There's a coach to coach. There's a general. The coaches and everybody on there is very, very helpful. They're always happy to share knowledge and anything they can with you guys. So if you're not using that yet, do yourself a favor, jump on there and check it out at least.
There is a mention of Slack at the bottom of the newsletter under team support that says if you want to be invited, email me.
Okay.
Just drop
But
a
all
link to
Okay.
join the
Yep.
chat as well.
There you go.
Yep. And I will grab, because the people on YouTube can't see our chat, I will grab that link that Brian just put in the chat. And when I post the YouTube, I'll put that in the description. So you'll be able to join. If you're watching this video, you'll be able to join by clicking the letter in the description.
Yep. That link also is in the email that welcomes coaches as they register at firstinspires.org. That's the only way I know teams exist is through downloading the registrations from firstinspires.org. So the link is there. But one thing to remember is if the team registers with only one coach, or if it's the administrator that registers with 0 coaches, it's only the administrator that gets that email. I don't resend that welcome letter after those coaches are assigned to that team. That would just kind of sound simple, but it's actually a very complex process. I just don't have the resources to go find out which coach just recently signed up for which team. So my point is, if you get that welcome letter and you have a new coach, please make sure that you forward that welcome letter to the coach. And that will then, of course, give you the Slack, the invitation to Slack and all the other information that's in it.
So new coaches do check your YPP on when you're signing up. You have to do a youth protection program thing. There's a background check if you're new, and also if you're returning every couple years, you have to redo that. So it would be helpful for everybody to just jump up there on your account, see if you're up to date, if you need to renew anything, any trainings that you've had in the past, judging, reffing, whatever it is, you'll need to redo again this year for this season. So once you register for an event, I think it'll pop up as a to-do item. I'm not sure if you can. I think you can still go through this year as well and do training before events, but that's a whole different process. That being said, do volunteer for events if you're able to. We're always looking for people. It's a great way to kind of get yourself up to date on what the judges are looking for. Get yourself more in depth with the rules of the game, and make your team a lot more knowledgeable about what they're going through.
Right. Any questions from the coaches on the call?
Let me just read this question that popped in. Okay. Okay, I'll read this from Heather. So Heather says the new website's a bit trickier to figure out, so plan extra time. Be ready to contact first if you cannot get your red dots to disappear. even after showing everything completed. We've had multiple coaches struggling to get it all straightened out. I've seen, I forget where it was, it might have been on our Slack or it might have been on a different Facebook group where coaches have also said that they registered, had everything checked off, and went back in later, and there was more stuff for them to do. So make sure you're double checking that. Is there a place to sign up for the newsletter or coaches that are added after registration?
Newsletter, yes, all new coaches, no matter when they get registered, they will get added to the newsletter distribution list. What I was referring to earlier was the welcome letter that I only send out once per team. But yes, new coaches get added weekly to the weekly newsletter.
They can also go back and look at the old ones on the badgerbots.org website. So go to robotics, Wisconsin FLL, scroll down to the bottom, there's the newsletter archive.
Somebody had mentioned in Slack that the links to old newsletters for or they're not old, but anyway, the first few newsletters for BioGlow, I was told by Rebecca that they are working now. So I guess there's proof right there.
Okay. That was Chris from Oregon. So we'll have to let him know that those are up.
Transitioning from 1 year to the next involves a lot of details, and so no, thank you for finding out what needs to get done.
And Michael says I cannot stop the red dot. Yeah, that's what I've been hearing, Michael. There are people that have had to go back 2 or 3 times and do more stuff. So
Actually, on the website as well, there's a register for the newsletter.
Brian, I didn't have that on screen when you did that step. So did you just go from where you showing the newsletter and said more newsletters?
So basically, if you go up to the resources and help, there's subscribe to our weekly newsletter.
Got it. Okay, now it's on.
Look at how nicely laid out our website is.
It looks great. Okay. Well, I got nothing
I'll
else.
take credit for it, but I cannot. Not one iota. That's all Rebecca.
Well, she did a great job.
So, all right. Well, if there aren't any more questions, then we'll
Could I have a quick,
call it an evening. We will be back next Monday and every Monday through mid-December. So otherwise, you can reach me at fllteams@badgerbots.org. You all should have Jay, Brian, Allison, and Hicks email as well if you want to reach out to them directly. Otherwise, we'll see everybody next week.